It's never been part of the dining operations in terms of a dining hall. In fact, all of our continental breakfast centers had formerly been dining halls. We don't have staff to do it, and we don't have a kitchen. We don't have a kitchen to do it. We'd have to redo the kitchen over there. So we haven't. Yep.
Well, it looks like a pretty big kitchen.
Yeah, I understand, but you still need to have a pot sink. There's requirements by the Board of Health for what you need to do to operate a facility over there. So it's always been looked at as an annex to the dining, but not part of the dining process.
And the second is about guest meals.
Mm-hmm.
How come we don't have like 3 or 4 guest meals per semester that come with the dining plan?
The guest meals, you used to have guest meal tickets, and we converted the dining dollars. We used that to do dining dollars, so students had the flexibility to either, if you wanted to buy a guest meal with that, that's fine. Or if somebody wants to buy something else with their dining dollars, they wanted to give students the flexibility because some students didn't use their guest meal passes. That's why. So they carved that out to do a multitude of things.
Let me go to President.
So before we open for a lot of questions, I just want to give us a chance to sort of, I guess, wrap up any other facts, or you want to...
I'm all set.
Once we open for questions, it's going to be like...
I think she was done with.
Oh, okay. Just check it.
No, that's okay.
Do you have a comment or a question?
I do, but I'll come back. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, Treasurer?
So the lunch swipe goes from 11:30 to 4.
11 to 4.
And, a lot of labs get out at 4.
Actually, it's 10 to 4, I'm sorry.
10 to 4?
Because of Grab and Go, I'm sorry. Grab and Go opens at 10. Right, it's 10 to 4.
And I know that a lot of labs get out at 4, and seminars get out at 4 or 5. Is there a way to extend the Blanchard swipe to maybe 4:30?
Are you saying that students aren't getting lunch from 10 to 4? There's no opportunity to get lunch from 10 to 4?
I mean, there's a lot of people who have classes, and sometimes days get busy.
That's pretty bad that people don't have an opportunity to get lunch from 10 to 4. Oh my goodness. Not even a Grab and Go to pick it up and run?
I mean,
I'm just curious because I'm thinking that's
busy.
I know, I understand it's 6 hours.
Yeah.
I
Because some people hop from class to class to class,
right.
And sometimes things get so hectic and so busy to the point where sometimes you don't have time to necessarily grab lunch at that time. So is there a possibility of, and especially people who have labs trying to get there early to prep and stuff like that, so I think it would be
So you're asking to
beneficial
extend it to 5, is that
have
what you're saying?
For not 4:30 would be even
4:30.
4:30 would be more than sufficient.
Yeah.
What about people that save?
We're gonna go to cause.
I just want to support that once again because that's something that some friends of mine brought up as a concern, and I've noticed in all of my seminars, people literally even will have like a 10-minute break and they'll run to Blanchard and go get their lunch and come back. And see, the thing is, a lot of people have classes off campus and they'll get back on campus, say at like 12:30, they go to their 12, I don't know, 45 or something like that.
Okay.
Go to their 1 o'clock seminar.
Sure.
And then, that's where the problem exists.
Secretary?
Do you foresee cooked order breakfast coming back in the near future?
Ready to order?
Probably
Never
not.
again.
Let me just tell you why. Let me tell you cooked order breakfast. Cooked order breakfast got to be a little bit too much for the cooks to handle. And it was because there was a lot of stuff that was on those cooked order slips. And a lot of students, by the way, were not eating breakfast because they couldn't get their breakfast in time to get any hot food. What we're finding now is we are feeding more students at breakfast and going through more product because more people have access because they're not waiting for the cooked order to be put up. So it seems to be working okay right now. And our participation's up, and so is our usage. So that indicates to me that there's more students having access to the hot food particularly, not just grabbing the bagel on the way out.
And so as a quick follow-up, there is no possibility of there being hot breakfast items in any of the continental breakfast centers?
We aren't even equipped to do that. We don't have any facility to make it hot.
Okay, so when the dining halls were, sorry, Jen, so when the dining halls were, in all the dorms there were dining halls, and when they were converted over to, they no longer have the capacity to do that?
No, because what they ended up doing when the conversion was converting some of that space to golden pairs.
Okay.
The golden pairs space, so the students had an option as opposed to being just in one dining hall, which I believe was just water. We only had a golden pair at one point. So, and that would also mean different staff to come in and cook. But don't you have breakfast sandwiches in there that you can reheat? Or heat
Where
up?
do we reheat them?
Or heat them in the microwave?
Microwave? Okay, just making general. I've never seen
Okay.
directions or anything. Just wondering.
We're going to go to College Republicans.
Okay, so I'm a senior, so I just have a quick three-part question. One, what happened to romaine lettuce for women's college? All I do is eat salad. Two,
Romaine lettuce is up to $60 a case right now. So we are limiting what we're putting on for now. We're hoping it's not going to last. I've got to do that when, like, tomatoes are out of sight. So we've got to take a look. We're offering you lettuce. It may not necessarily only be romaine, but hopefully this is short-lived. But it's because of the weather in California. The crop is horrible, and we're paying for something that is very substandard. So I can't rightfully spend your board dollars doing that. I just can't do it.
yeah, I'm having a big problem with that. Two, in Blanchard, there seems to be a lack of diet beverages for women's college. There's like no diet ginger ale. There's like 2 diet example options. There's never any diet Coke. It never seems to be restocked. And I have a serious issue because over the last 4 years, it seems like we've actually got less diet beverages available. And third, I just had a quick question about the sushi that comes to Blanchard. I know you guys contract that out, but I was wondering if there was any way to have that on a more regular basis instead of just once every 2 weeks. Because I know a lot of students really enjoy having that as an option. And it's also like a grab and go, so you know, it's quick from Blanchard. It's not like you're waiting in line for a sandwich. It's like, oh, sushi, grab, run. You're not waiting in line. You're not taking up prep time there.
Let me just speak to Blanchard briefly, because having a cash operation on the board plan, the way we have it on the board plan, presents its challenges, and this is the reason. We are offering retail items in that operation that are more expensive than your regular operations in the board plan in the dining halls. So you have to do a compromise in terms of because what we could do is say anything that's retail, because what those items cost us is much more than what it costs us to prepare a meal for you in the dining halls by a lot. So we have to say, all right, what is it that we can put on the menus and give students access to? And it may be that's why you offer sushi once every 2 weeks or once a week or whatever it is. And still make it affordable, because what you could do is say, okay, these things are on the board plan and these things are not, and I don't want to do that. So we have to take a look at what our retail item costs are, which is not something we offer at all in the dining halls, but we treat our board plan all the same. So the meal swipe in Blanchard, you can use the same meal swipe in the dining halls. So we have to kind of contain it somehow. So we're always looking at that stuff, always, to see what we can do and if we can offer it more or if we have to limit.
Any diet beverages?
I don't know. I wasn't aware of that. I don't drink those, and I really wasn't aware of that. But they end up, as in the jobbers, they end up putting things that they know that people are drinking. So I certainly will ask about that.
Because like I know Snapple, we don't have like diet iced tea Snapple.
Yeah, we do.
All right, we're gonna go around this way. So we're gonna go Uma, Amarana, Pearson, Buckland, yes. So we're starting.
Okay. This is a bit verbose. When I got into Mount Holyoke, I knew that there's a halal dining hall on campus, and but then like I was talking to my friend, and she's like, I told her like, what if it's actually not halal? And she said, like in the U.S. it's a felony to have a label when it's actually not certified. So basically, the kosher kitchen, it's certified as kosher, but according to law, like if you go to a restaurant in New York or in Boston, if it says it's halal, they have a halal certificate. So basically, the kosher dining hall, even though it has a halal label, but according to Muslim law or like very orthodox laws, it's not halal. And when I went off campus like last year, I found out that on other campuses, they do have a kosher kitchen, but at the same time, they have like a halal option. So that makes students differentiate that, okay, fine, that's halal and this is kosher. So like I've been facing problems, like I don't eat kosher. And I know for sure that it's just like wrong, misleading information.